some examples of disordered boundaries. So a disordered boundary, that's a phrase from a book. I haven't actually read the book. I listened to the podcast. You could probably find it if you Google it. The author of a book named Boundary Boss. It was a great podcast on the Sounds True podcast. Not about betrayal at all, just boundaries in general. But she talked about disordered boundaries. So here's some examples of disordered boundaries. Stonewalling would be a disordered boundary. So stonewalling, my partner's talking to me. I'm giving them the cold shoulder, no response, deadpan, silent treatment, all of that. That's a boundary. Technically, I guess that's a form of boundary, but that is a disordered boundary. It's not actually going to end up getting me what I want and need in the end. Another example of disordered boundaries is what I call pressure cooking. So pressure cooking would be, I take it, but the pressure's doing what? Building up. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get a 50-cent reaction to a nickel problem. Okay. You're going to do that one last thing. It's going to be that proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. Boom. And I explode and I start laying down the law. That's a disordered boundary. That's not the best way to go about this. Criticizing, especially if I flavor it with sarcasm, that is not a healthy boundary. Criticizing the way someone does something, the way they look when they're trying to use a tool they learned in therapy or something like that, one of their recovery tools, and you criticize or you go to sarcasm, or flip it around. Someone's trying to assert a boundary and then you respond with criticism, or even worse, sarcastic criticism. No. And then lastly, rewards and punishment. These aren't actually boundaries at all. So the carrot and stick approach, that's not boundaries. Okay. So like, I'll have sex with you one time for every 2 weeks that you're sober. I understand the logic there, not a boundary though, and probably not going to get you what you want in the end.